Oh, good evening. We had a busy day today finding GCF and LCM of numbers. Looking at your GCF, this would have been on page 8, sorry, page 16 in your MSG. We have our GCF as our largest number there, can divide two or more numbers. And left method 1 was list, where how we did this is I first asked you is if you can write down all the different ways you can multiply to get 24. Let's see if I can do this better with this little tablet here. So you had 1 times 24. We had, what, 2 times 12. Still pretty sloppy, sorry guys. We had, 3 times 8. And 4 times 6. So those are all the factors of 24. So if I go back to your list here, I'm going to basically list out the numbers we have right here. So we had a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 6, an 8, 12, and that's supposed to be a 24. 24, there we go. Then we also did the same thing with 36. I had you write down all the multiplication problems that equal 36. So of course you had 1 and 36. Then we had, what, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and then 6 times 6. So if I list those out, so you had your 1, and you can also write this way, 1 and 36. Just write 36 right here somewhere, give yourself plenty of room. Then you had, what, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and then of course you had your 6 times 6. So this is what we mean by making lists. I'm listing out all of my factors. Then to find the greatest common factor, I simply look at, well, what's the largest number they have in common. So for these two, they have a GCF of 12. So GCF is 12. So that's method 1, is make a list and figure out which one they have in common. The second method is what we call the SLED method. Okay? Or I've heard it called SLED, slide. I even had one person tell me it was a ladder because they actually work back up from bottom to top. There's all different names for it, but basically how it works is you have your two numbers here, and you're going to divide. You're going to find a factor that will divide both of these. Remember, if you're stuck, use your divisibility rules. So if nothing else, they're both even. That means I can divide them by 2. Well, 12 divided by 2 is 6. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Okay. Then you look to see what these numbers have in common. These can both be divided by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. GCF is on the left. Whatever you have on the left side, multiply those together. That gives your GCF. So 2 times 3 is 6. So my GCF here equals 6. Now, guys, depending on how good you are with your multiplication fraction and division, you may have noticed that right away, because you notice some of you could probably look at this and say, oh, 12 and 18, those can be divided by 6. Well, 12 divided by 6 is 2. 18 divided by 6 is 3. And notice 2, 3. I end up with 2, 3. I end up with the same numbers on the bottom, no matter which method I do it. And once again, GCF is on the left. What is that? That's 6, which is what I got right here. Okay, your homework tonight was to finish off the 3 questions at the bottom. I must have cut them off the slide, but there's 3 questions down here at the bottom, and you're to find the GCF. I don't care which method you use. You can either use a SLED or the list. It doesn't matter. Your job is to find the GCF of those 3 questions at the bottom of the page.